Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
Well, thank you for joining us. Can you just first tell us how you are and where you are?
Sure. So I'm pretty happy right now. I'm a week away from home, which sounds like it's very weird thinking about that. And right now I'm in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So I came in today from Dubai. It was a 4.5 hour flight across north of Qatar and I think across Bahrain as well. Apologies, let me turn it off. Um, and yeah, so it's really happy to be here. It's stunning. Saudi Arabia is absolutely beautiful. Really smooth flight as well. No turbulence whatsoever. No clouds. Perfect visibility. So it was just a really nice flight.
Excellent.
just like Russia, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, just like Russia. Yeah, 100%.
So,
Yeah.
how was that big water crossing from India to Dubai?
Oh, it was long. It was 8 hours. It just wouldn't stop. It was. In the beginning, it was pretty tough because the air pollution in Mumbai is really bad. I think when I left, it was like 2,500 meters of visibility, and it doesn't get better, right? So you didn't have a choice; you have to go. And luckily, because of how you can look straight down, so it's not too bad in reality. Um, so I took off, left direct to Dubai. That's right, and it was just really hazy and smoky for 2.5 hours. So you could really see the smog just kept on going and just wouldn't stop. And so I got a bit bored of that because it was quite hard to see the ocean as well because of it. And it was like, it just wasn't much fun. And then finally started clearing up. I think I was at 6,500 feet, something like that. And I'm pretty sure I think I had a tailwind. No, sorry, sorry, I'm a bit tired, I've forgotten. But yeah, so 8 hours. I got to Oman about 6.5 hours through. Obviously, I didn't speak much on the radio throughout. And then I get into Dubai and I was so tired. And I listened to the ATIS and it's just awful. I mean, it is terrible. It was gusting 45 knots, like a perfect crosswind. Visibility had dropped to, I think it was 3,000 meters. And it was just not good at all. And so then I had to divert to another airport called Al Ain, which is about 90 minutes by car north of Dubai, about 20 minutes by plane. And that was fine. So, but it was interesting. So the time, so I decided to divert, and from making that decision to actually getting there was about 20 minutes, and it had gone from 22 knots, a slight crosswind, to 27 knots, and then so I'd landed, and I have a tendency of taxiing quite fast. I don't know why. It's just I guess once you're on the ground, you're quite keen to get stop and then get out and everything, and I had to slow down loads because I was about to take off again. I was reaching my speed of rotation, so it was quite amusing. But yeah, so that was fun. I came in at the right time. A few hours later, it was a IFR, strong wind, and yeah, so it was great.
Brilliant. Now I think the last time we spoke was Alaska, and then we spoke to your dad when you were between Korea, Taiwan, that kind of area.
Yeah,
How was that journey from Russia down into the Southeast Asia?
Russia was a whole thing. Yeah, Russia was challenging. I think it was both mentally and flying wise, especially mentally. So going from Anadyr to Magadan, which is Anadyr is like way northeast Russia, to Magadan, which is also way northeast Russia. It was about 6 hours over nothing. Travis did the exact same route, I think, but then the opposite way. And in the summer, so I'm kind of jealous. I should have really left a bit earlier, but it worked out in the end. Um, and so that was 6 hours over nothing. By that point, extremely cold, also, and it obviously so cold. There's no trees, no villages really, and on the ground it was minus 35 degrees Celsius for that leg, and I wasn't sure how my engine would cope with that. So in Alaska, we added some like metal blocks to block the intakes to kind of try and keep the engine warm. I hadn't tested it though, right? In Alaska, it was only minus 8 degrees Celsius, something like that. So I left for Magadan. Luckily, left for Magadan. Luckily, there was an inversion going on, so there was only or if there was minus 35 degrees on the ground, it was about minus 20 up in the air at 5,000 feet. And so I left, kind of hoping that would be okay, and it was. So that I went down to minus 22 degrees Celsius, and based off sort of how the plane was coping, I thought it could easily go down to minus 25 before getting in the yellow. So it's pretty good. And I was stuck in Magadan for a week. I think a pretty big snowstorm came through, and then I left for Ayan. Well, technically, I left for Ekimchan, and then I had to land in Ayan because of some poor weather, which was a diversion. And I was there for 3 weeks, and that was a tiny town of about 800 people, and they did not speak any English, and there was no Wi-Fi. And so that was pretty tough. So luckily, could rent a little small apartment, so I could kind of cook my own food and everything. But it was pretty interesting because the supermarkets there, well, supermarket, more like a market, it's kind of like a pharmacy, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to say what you want. And obviously, me not speaking any Russian, the only thing I could kind of point to was like pasta, and like maybe, yeah, and then just point at different things. So my diet was pretty limited during those 3 weeks. Um, and yeah, the weather was pretty bad then. And when it was good, the winds would kind of be gusting sort of between 25 knots and 35 knots. And I wasn't really comfortable with that because the how the airfield was situated in between two hills, and and it was kind of another mountain ahead, and so it was kind of one of those tricky airfields where you don't want to mess up. You want to get it right first time around. So I wasn't too comfortable with leaving when it was gusting that strongly. So I waited a couple more days and then was able to leave and head further south into Russia, and that was fine. That was really nice when I got to Khabarovsk, which is a relatively big city. Got Wi-Fi again, or good Wi-Fi, and yeah, and then South Korea, Taiwan, Philippines is all very nice. And then I got near the equator where you get loads of thunderstorms. So a bit turbulent. I left for, so I stopped in Malaysia, in Kota Kinabalu, and then left for Jakarta, Indonesia. That was about a 7-hour flight. And it was all going pretty well. And then there's this awkward 2-hour leg over water to get to Jakarta, and it was just blocked by thunderstorms. I tried multiple times to try and get around it, but at this point I was at 600 feet above the ocean or water, and so it didn't seem like it was improving, and I just wasn't really comfortable trying to find a way. I didn't know if there was a way around the thunderstorm, and even if there was, just being there for 2 hours at 600 feet. So I decided to land in this another pretty small city called Ketapang. Uh, and yeah, I was there for 2 nights. And because it's a domestic airport, I was sleeping in the terminal, so that wasn't the most comfortable stay. But yeah, other than that, so far it's been going pretty well. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Good. And in terms of the aeroplane itself, has it been performing as you'd expect and as you'd hoped?
Yeah, it's actually been really good recently. So I did have a flat tire on Christmas Day in Singapore, so that was slightly frustrating. So I spent the day trying to fix that. Otherwise, yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to going to Slovakia, and then they'll do proper huge check there just to make sure that everything is perfect. They did a check today, fixed some stuff on the engine today just to make sure that everything was okay. But yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Good. And then with the route that you've got left now, which is kind of Egypt, Greece, and then back, mentally, does that just feel like a casual cross-country across Europe?
Yeah, it's so nice because it's what my dad warns me not to start. By the way, like you're not done yet. You still have winter in Europe. I did winter in Siberia. I think winter in Europe will be okay. But yeah, obviously I am careful. Gonna make sure the weather's okay. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Europe where there's like an airfield every 10, 15 minutes. That's just gonna be really nice.
Excellent. Now, I'm just looking through the comments. Have we got any questions?
I presume, Zara, when you said about Slovakia, you'll be taking the Shark back to the factory temporarily, will you?
Yeah, so I think I'm only in Slovakia for one night, and then that's where I'm landing. I'm landing at the airfield, which is where the factory is as well. And so they'll do a proper check there, and then obviously flying the plane back. And I'm allowed to keep the plane until August to September, so I'm really excited. So I get
Fantastic.
keep it.
Are you going to come over and see us?
Yeah, I'd love to actually fly to DK, say hello to some friends as well. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, well, so I was looking at Belgium. I was looking at coming over to. You're going to Bubblegum, aren't you?
Bubblegum?
That's the name of the airport you're landing at in
That's right.
Belgium.
Yeah, Kortrijk.
Yeah. So, but at the moment, there's kind of restrictions where you have to have a PCR test on arrival and quarantine until negative or something.
Yeah, I think I heard. I mean, I'm not too sure because I haven't been home in a while, but I have heard that it's getting stricter. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were looking. We couldn't figure out an easy way of popping over to meet you when you landed. So we look forward to seeing you over in the UK at some
Yeah,
stage.
no,
Otherwise, we'll come over.
definitely.
Maybe we'll have to do a live stream where we get Zara along and she can meet some of the live stream viewers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Question from Russ Stein. Does the Shark have an autopilot and a BRS?
It does have an auto. Sorry, what was the second question?
The BRS.
Ballistic recovery chute. Parachute.
Oh yeah, it is. So yeah, so it has both. So the autopilot kind of straight and level. So I love that. And yeah, it does have a parachute. So if everything goes very wrong, then I do have a backup plan.
That's good.
I
And
think
then
there's
we've got one
There's
from
a
Nick
good
Allen.
comment from which I'm guessing is going to be Rob Hughes at the British Microlight Association. Congratulations for everything that you've achieved so far. We're all eagerly following your progress and look forward to seeing you at the end of your journey.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should go to like Milton Keynes Snow Dome and recreate the Russian experience or something.
Yeah, I miss it so much. Yeah, that would be great.
We'll get some pasta in.
Yeah, it is very strange though because so right now obviously this is the complete opposite to Russia, but there are similarities. Both places are so uninhabitable basically that for hundreds of kilometers there's just nobody there. Although I did see camels today, so that was really exciting from the air. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, what time is it there at the moment in Riyadh?
It's 9 o'clock in the
Okay.
evening.
Not too late. But you must have had quite an early start this morning.
Yeah. Well, 4 a.m. Local time. Sorry, 1 second. Yes. Huh?
Yeah.
Sorry about
Someone
that.
is so famous now that I think she gives
No,
autographs.
this is the hotel manager, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
Bill.
Can you sign your bill?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think
There's a good comment there by Nick Allen. Of all the places you passed by, are there any that you've thought I must come back and have a closer look so far?
Yeah. I mean, the whole of Southeast Asia was pretty incredible. Taiwan is beautiful from the air. I didn't realize that. They've got an amazing mountain range. That's really gorgeous. And Saudi Arabia, actually. So the people have been extremely kind. I went to see a women's university today, the largest women's university in the world. And they were really cool, super nice and everything. And I was able to meet Prince Sultan today. So he's one of the royalty here in Saudi Arabia, and he's invited me back. So I'm looking forward to that.
Brilliant.
fantastic. Brilliant. Well done.
Has
Yeah,
there been any point where you thought you might be in danger?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say there's points where if something additional had gone wrong, I would have been in big trouble. For example, coming into Ayan, if the weather in Ayan hadn't been good, I would have been in big trouble. So by then, it would have been hard to go back to a different alternate airfield before sunset. Although I did check, Ayan was always my sort of alternate in case I couldn't get to Akam Chan, and Ayan was supposed to be beautiful all day. But then when I actually came in, you could really see that the cloud and that bad weather was coming towards Ayan as well. And yeah, so if it'd been IFR for any reason, then yeah, I would have been in pretty big trouble. But luckily that didn't happen. And a few different things where, yeah, if my destination airport for any reason had been, I wouldn't have been able to land there, then yeah, I would have been in really big trouble. But so far that hasn't happened, so I'm pretty happy. Actually, crossing the Pacific, I was at 600 feet for like a few minutes, and that wasn't much fun. But I wasn't necessarily in danger, right? When you're over the ocean, you get some more reaction time when you're at maybe 3,000 and 600. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be an uncomfortable ride down. So yeah.
Do you think you've grown as a pilot over the trip?
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I'd say in some places I'm more confident, in others I'm less confident. Um, I'm a lot more skeptical I think now with the weather. I really do want to make sure that I'm 100% happy with it, and I think I'm also better at saying actually I'm not happy flying today, and like I'm not doing it. So yeah, stuff like that. And but then overall, I think I've noticed I'm a lot more comfortable with uh, uncomfortable scenarios, if that makes sense. And right now, dealing with the shark has G-force warnings, so sometimes the turbulence is so bad you get some of those. And in the beginning, that would kind of freak me out, but now it's like it's another one of those things, and things like that. So when Viz is a bit lower in the beginning, that would be slightly uncomfortable, but now it's like okay, as long as I can see the ground and I know that there's no mountain ahead of me, I'm pretty happy.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank
Great.
you.
Okay, I think that's absolutely brilliant. We're really, really glad that you've taken time out of your day to join us. I realise you've
Yeah, I'm
had a
sorry it
long
was
day.
so late. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
That's okay. We've all been taking blood pressure medication all day just to make sure, because we're getting increasingly stressed.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's great talking to you guys. It's great just being able to talk to.
I think that there's a comment here that kind of sums up how everyone is kind of feeling. It's all everyone's wishing you well and full of admiration for everything that you've done so far. Really,
Thank you.
For a bunch of us pilots who never venture very far outside the UK to watch you flying a microlight around the world is just incredible. So.
Thank you very much. It's very kind.
Absolutely stunning.
Absolutely. So we'll either come over to Belgium or we'll be more than happy to host you over here and get something sorted out. So take it. You don't need us to say take care for the rest of your trip. What you got coming. You got that far. So have a great time. And we look forward to seeing you. And we wish on behalf of everyone, we wish you really, really well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
You
Thanks
too.
very much, Zara.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Zara.